Bulusan volcano is now under alert level 1 following a phreatic or steam-driven eruption. Fuel prices are set to increase anew and are expected to continuously go up in the next few weeks. And the Philippine Basketball Association has kicked off its 47th season at the Smart Araneta Coliseum. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Riza Diaz. We begin the newscast with PHIVOLC's warning of more eruptions at the Bulusan volcano following the phreatic explosion earlier today. In an earlier interview here on One News Now, PHIVOLC's director Renato Solidum said they're not seeing the possibility of a violent magma-driven eruptions, but acknowledged the possibility of more steam-driven ones. It occurs when water beneath the ground or on the surface is directly heated by hot rocks or indirectly by magma. The agency has since raised alert level 1 over the Bulusan volcano, indicating low-level unrest.
The volcano can still explode because of the fact that the hydrothermal activity is still ongoing, as manifested by a slight inflation of the volcano. We don't see any involvement of magma. However, steam-driven explosions can also be tall.
Still on the Bulusan volcano's eruption, at least 10 barangays in Sorsogon are affected by ash fall. The Sorsogon Provincial Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office said these are villages in Irosin and Huban. The local government continues to assess the situation and conduct clearing operations in affected areas. Irosin Mayor Alfredo Cielo announced the closure of tourist destinations in the area for the safety of the public. On Twitter, the Office of the Vice President said they have started preparing for relief operations. Malacanang, meanwhile, said they are monitoring the situation, adding that concerned agencies are on standby. In other news, the Energy Department is expecting the increase in the prices of petroleum products to continue in the coming months or coming weeks. Speaking earlier here on One News Now, DOE Oil Industry Management Bureau Director Rido Abad laid out some of the factors behind the looming oil price hike. These include the ban on the Russian oil exports in Europe, historical surge in demand, and the end of lockdowns in China. Industry projections show that the prices of diesel would increase by up to 6 pesos and 50 centavos per liter. Gasoline prices are likewise expected to rise by up to 2 pesos and 70 centavos in the coming days.
All these factors actually contributed to the increasing price for next week and probably for the coming, not only next week, but for the coming week. Unless there is another event that will actually offset this trend.
Meanwhile, some parts of Metro Manila being serviced by Maynilad will experience water supply interruptions beginning today. Camille Samonte has the report.
Some residents of Almanza Dos in Las Piñas have begun storing water for their household use. This is after Maynilad announced that customers in the area, as well as in Poblacion and Tunasan in Muntinlupa, will experience water interruptions from June 5 to June 14. The water interruptions will be implemented daily between 10 a.m. and 6 a.m. due to a facility repair activity. Some residents, however, complained that even prior to the notice, the water pressure in their area has been low.
Pero talagang matagal ng ganyan ang sistema ng tubig. Mahina pagdating sa gabi, minsan mga alas 10 meron. Alas 4 ng madaling araw, sa wala na hanggang alas 10. Hanggang maghapon yun.
For Randy, he plans on using their stock of water to finish their laundry.
Mahirap. Mahina nga. Walang tulo. Tagaan na lang.
Eatery owner Jeffrey, meanwhile, made sure they have a stock of water as the service interruption will affect their business.
Always ready kami. Hindi kami nawawala ng stock. Kasi nga, hindi namin maintindihan kung kailan mawawala. Fair din kasi kapag yun nga, sa paniningil talagang stricto sila. Pero ang supply ng tubig hindi talaga consistent na ganun palagi. Madalas po wala.
Maynilad has encouraged affected customers to store enough water when supply is available. Their mobile water tankers are now doing the rounds in affected areas to deliver potable water. Stationary water tanks have also been installed. For News 5, Camille Samonte, We Are One News.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. The PBA has kicked off its 47th season. The league began with an awarding ceremony for the 46th season where Barangay Ginebra's Scotty Thompson bagged the Most Valuable Player award. Shortly after that, the PBA held its traditional opening rites, which featured a parade of the teams and their muses. And to cap off the day, the PBA is holding a doubleheader with rain or shine foiling Converge PBA debut after winning 79-77. Next up is the match between TNT and Magnolia. North Korea has launched a ballistic missile into waters off its East Coast. Now, this came after South Korea and the United States staged their first joint drills in more than 4 years. Seoul's Joint Chiefs of Staff said that North Korea fired an unidentified ballistic missile into the East Sea or the Sea of Japan. Now, the Japanese Coast Guard reports that possible ballistic missile had been launched from North Korea. Pyongyang has long protested against South Korea and U.S. joint military exercises, calling these as rehearsals for invasion. Conservationists in Kenya are trying to save the northern white rhino from extinction using IVF. More details in this Bloomberg video.
Gone into preparing the necessary equipment and procedures for oocyte collection or collection of the eggs from the two females that exist that are here on Opejeta, Nain and Fatu, and that has actually taken place on severally, and we have managed to create successfully at least 14 embryos that are now preserved in liquid nitrogen for the purposes of implantation on surrogate females, southern white rhino surrogate females here on Opejeta. Procedures for implantation have not been so successful, and therefore the need to perfect on that before you use the pure northern white rhino embryos. We've been trialing out using southern white rhino embryos to see to it that the procedure is perfected before you use the very precious northern white rhino materials or embryo in the procedure. But we are optimistic that over time this is a hurdle that we will jump across.
For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippines Star, and Business World Online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now, www.signalplay.com, and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Riza Diaz. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.